What is up, family? Long time no see. It's been a minute. I have been under the weather. Well, not under the weather, but I got sick from some food at a fast food restaurant. And I'll have to tell y'all about that some other time. But the purpose of this video is to go over some steps for you to use in case something happens when you're on the road. When you are going from one destination to the other and something unexpected happens or breaks down on your vehicle, what are you going to do? Have you ever thought about what to do or where to go? Things like that. So that's what I'm going to talk to you about today. I'm going to just go ahead and give you the steps and you can govern yourself accordingly. Okay, so this I didn't break down, but my brakes were going bad on me from my trip from Georgia back to Virginia. Now, my 3.5 ride from Georgia to South Carolina was okay, but I did hear a little something in my brake, and I was like, "What is that?" So by the time I got to South Carolina, the sound was more prominent, and so I was like, that's something with the brakes. And I had plans. Oh my God, I had good plans. I was going to go to a couple of a national forests and a waterfall in South Carolina, and there were 3 that were in close proximity in North Carolina that I wanted to go to, and I just could not see me doing that, because I know when I went to Amacola Falls, and you have to check out that video. But going up that mountain, I knew my brakes wouldn't be able to handle it. So I didn't want to take a chance doing that. So I said, okay, you're going to have to go make a beeline for Virginia. And so that's what I did. And I stopped at a rest stop, and I just kind of relaxed for probably an hour and a half or so. Got something cold to drink, and I think I had some yogurt or something like that. And I said, well, let me see if I can stay overnight in North Carolina, then I can start back in the morning. So I went to find a Love's, looked up the Love's, got to the Love's, and there was only 1 hour parking at this particular Love's around the perimeter of the parking lot. They did have 8 spaces that did not have a sign that said you couldn't park overnight, but they were all taken. So I stayed there for about 2 hours, and I got in the back after about the first hour, and I tried to take a little nap, but it's a parking lot, so people slamming doors and all that kind of stuff, and I'm not a heavy sleeper, but that just I just couldn't get into the sleep, so I probably slept for maybe 15-20 minutes. So I said, okay, there is another Love's that I stayed at on my way down there, and that was a nice Love's, and I felt comfortable and everything, but it was on the other side of 85, out of my way. So I said, well, let's look up another rest stop. So I found one in Kannapolis, North Carolina. Did you know there was a place called Kannapolis, North Carolina? Yeah, Kannapolis. So they had one on each side. What is that? South and north. So I went to north, and I stayed there for about 3 hours. And I said I was going to get up and like 3 o'clock in the morning and leave, because at this point you could hear the of my brakes, and I didn't want to take any chances of being in heavy traffic and my brakes are scraping and carrying on and getting worse than they need to be. So I stayed there, got up at 3 o'clock in the morning. Of course it started raining, and I just went on straight to Virginia from there. Got there about 7:30 at Walmart, and I slept at Walmart until about 10:30, and then I went to my son's. So my point for doing all that was because I knew my second oldest son could fix my brakes. And at this point, I'm thinking it's just my brakes. I just need brake shoes. So I called him. He couldn't do it because he's working overtime. He's working like 80-hour weeks. And my nephew-in-law couldn't do it because he was working. So my son said, Mom, go ahead and find somewhere to get them fixed and I'll pay for it. So I'm like, okay. So I get online and I look up places, and I came across Pep Boy, and Pep Boys was like advertising for like $209, and then they had a $50 coupon. So I'm like, okay, Pep Boy, I see you, let's go to Pep Boy. So I made the appointment. I got there and had my little $50 coupon, and they took me in, and I asked them could I charge my power station while I was there, and they said sure. So I did that. While I'm waiting, they're going over my brakes to see what is going on with my brakes. Okay, when they come back, they wanted $1,719 to fix my brakes. Yeah, $1,719. I was like, nah, bro, no, it's not gonna happen. Not on my budget. So I was like sticker shock. Like, what in the world? $1,700 for some brakes? What is going on? So when I looked at the breakdown, it was a rotor, a drum. I had something needed to be flushed, and something else. I was like, what do I do now? So I asked him, could I just get the front fixed, because that was the worst part. And he said it's going to be $1,100. Child, you might as well said $1 million. You might as well said $1 million. So I was like defeated. Like, what am I going to do? So I left Pep Boys. I stayed at my son's for another few days. And then I made my way to my daughter's in Virginia, still in Virginia. But she's like an hour, 2 hours away from my son. So what I did then, same thing. I left at night, and I left at night, and maybe 9 o'clock or something like that. And I came on up to my daughter's. So anyway, I knew here where she lives, I had a mechanic, and the mechanic could fix my brakes for me because I know him and all that. So long story short, it cost me $800 to get my brakes fixed. Yes, the stuff the Pep Boys wanted to fix was relevant, and but when you go places like that, they are getting premium parts, I guess, because he even told me that a part had to come in from somewhere. So, and this is a 97 van. So I'm like, I didn't understand that part. So anyway, I got it fixed, $800 later. So it got me thinking, what if I was somewhere traveling and I was on the road and my car broke down to the point of where I can't go anywhere? What would I have done? Did I have anything in place for that to happen? So yeah, I wouldn't have been prepared for that. I don't think I would have been prepared for that. So anyway, I'm going to go over the steps because I did some research and I want to share it with you of what you should do if you find yourself in that particular situation. First off, you need to have somebody that can tow you. So whether that be AAA, Good Sam, somebody, you need to have something like that on your roster. I don't know if it be included with your insurance or separately, but you need to have something like that in place. Now I know my AAA, I think it only does 20 miles or something like that. It's real short. So I'm like, I don't know about that. What if I'm somewhere in the boondocks? What is going to happen? I have to pay the remainder of that. So I'm going to reevaluate my AAA. Suffice that to say. But I know what is it? Good Sam starts at like $47.50. I'm not sure how many miles they tell you. But for AAA, I think it's for 100 miles, it's like $77, I think, something like that, for that particular one. So you need to have somebody that can tow you. So while you're waiting for the tow, you need to find a repair shop somewhere nearby that will take your vehicle. Now, if this is during the day, of course, you can call around and you can probably find somebody. If this is at night, you're going to have some issues where you may have to stay in your van overnight and then call in the morning and, start the process with the tow and all that. What else? Yeah, you need to find a repair shop. You need to find out how long it's estimated to take. If it's going to be 3 or 4 days, then you have to find somewhere to stay, because you can't stay if they take your van in the shop. Liability is not going to allow them to have you stay in your vehicle. So that in that case, you need to find a motel or a hotel that you can stay at. So then once you find a place to stay, what are you going to take with you? Are you going to have expense of eating out every day? Or what about the stuff that's in your refrigerator? Will it go bad? Can you take it with you? You have to work all that out. Now me, I've decided, since my issues with my refrigerator, not that it's broke or anything like that, but the fact that I have stuff in there sometimes and then I don't have the charging capabilities. I have to keep on recharging my power station and all of that, and it gets to be a lot, sometimes, and I don't feel like doing it. So I just told myself what I'm gonna do is I'm going to begin to have less in my refrigerator. Just whatever basic needs I have, and I will shop each day if I have to for fresh food, and that'll be better. So what it'll wind up being is my creamers, maybe eggs, or almond milk or something like that I need, in butter. But everything else can be shopped that day. So in that instance, I do have a cooler, a little portable cooler that I keep in my van. And so if this was me, I would load up all of my perishables in this cooler, and so I could take it to a hotel and stay at a hotel. Now, you want to take a few, changes of clothes, your toiletries, and things like that, so that you have them in the hotel with you as well. Also, depending on where you are, there's some shady motels could be in your area, and that may be all you can find. Then what are you going to do? So I would get a couple sets of disposable sheets. They have the disposable sheet, the fitted, the top, and the 2 pillowcases that come with it. And that's what I would use to take to the shady motel. Also take some disinfectant wipes, some things that you can wipe all the surfaces down, And even in regular motels, you don't know, you don't know what's going on. Because I always take the top comforter or whatever off, and I bring my own blanket in there to sleep because I don't trust what happened in there. I have a black light flashlight, and I will look around, honey, and see what's going on in there. Rwona? Yes. So you have to consider that as well. So you're going to have some clothes. I'm looking at my notes. Your water, you need to take some food that you can eat in your hotel. If you have a little cooker, you can take that with you. Things like that. So you want to make sure that you have a go bag ready that you can take with you, or something like I have my gym bag for Planet Fitness. I could just put a couple pair of shorts and tops in there, and I'd be good to go. You want to keep some cash on hand for emergencies. You don't know the situation at the hotel. You have to buy stuff cash? Do you really want to put it on your credit card? It depends on where you are. If you want to run across the street and get coffee or whatever, always have some cash just in case. You may need it, and you may not want to use your credit card. You have a list of phone numbers that you can contact. Your insurance company, your AAA, or you could SAM, family, friends. Somebody may be able to come in and get you. After a day, they might be able to take some time out of their busy schedule to come and pick you up. Who knows? It depends on your situation. You're gonna need some electronics, so you're gonna need all your power bank so that you can charge your phone or your laptop or your tablet or whatever you have. You need those type of things with you. If you want some more comfort, you might want to take your own blanket. Like I said, I'll take my own blanket, and I take that top cover off of the hotel bed. Anything like books, magazines, things like that you might need, because you're gonna be cooped up in a hotel in the middle of nowhere. So you might need that. So there's a whole lot of things to consider and have lined up in case. And also the biggest part is to have a fund, an emergency fund, so that you can go ahead and get whatever you need fixed, and you don't have to struggle. You don't have to wonder, am I going to be able to afford this? But I have to go to the bank and take a loan out. What? You need to consider all those type of things as well. So just going over what else I have. You want to inspect your room. You want to make sure it's clean. You might want to even take a portable door lock. You can get those on Amazon. I found one for like $5. So I already have bookmarked my 2 sets of sheets and my door lock for the door. So you might want to have that in place. So these are steps that you need to take in case something happens. You will feel secure and you will feel safer if you already know what your plan of action is. So this is my tips. My gift to you is to have all these things in place so that you can get through this period of time with your vehicle. And I hope it never happens to you. I honestly don't. I hope it never happens to me. I hear about my vehicle. It's an E150 with a V8 Triton engine, and I hear from a lot of people, you got to do a lot to this engine for something to happen. But there's other things. There's alternators. There's transmissions. There's all other kind of things with an older vehicle like this. So you can have it inspected periodically to make sure that everything's in good shape. For me, I'm getting ready to go with my sisters for the weekend, but when I come back, I'm going to get my oil changed, and I have to take it back to the mechanic to fix my brakes because my ABS light is on. So he's going to look at that for me. And while he looks at that, I ask him about, anything else that he sees that I might need to have done. So you are proactive about it. You know what I mean? So you're already in the know about what goes on. And like I tell my children, always turn your music and everything off periodically when you start your car and you drive, because you can hear whatever's going on. You might have something going on with your tire, could be a little ticking, whatever the case is. Listen out for things like that, so um, you know what's going on with your vehicle. But I hope that these tips helped you, and I hope that you have a great day. And I will see you on the next video.